expectations can be realistic. I think there's still a playoff team. As far as getting to the Super Bowl, particularly in the AFC, I don't know if this is the year.
I know it's not. I know it's not. I knew it wasn't last year. The year before was a last year. It's not. It's not. It's not. Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years. Now, not necessarily by win-loss record, but it is the worst season because y'all don't have hope. You don't have enough talent to compete. The game of football is about talent, y'all. Dog got to beat the other dog on the opposite side of the field, and the Bills have run out of dogs. Stephon Diggs is gone. Hopefully, Keon Coleman can step in and step up, but he gone. Poyer and Micah Hyde, they're gone. Milano coming off a knee injury. Von Miller, his Hall of Fame career resume, his Hall of Fame talent on the field. We haven't seen it in 2 years now. Tre'Davious White, he gone. Everybody's gone.
Everybody's gone. Gone. All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all heartbroken here in Buffalo.
Things that get him in trouble because he think he can throw a football through a hurricane.
You can't set the fuck down. You can't even run a route right. Get the fuck out of here.
Bill's window is closing.
Only time will tell. Look, at the end of the day, this is Josh Allen's offense, right? Like you're gonna put together the offense around the guys that you got. So for us to just say, hey, we're just gonna scrap everything and everything was broken. That wasn't the case, right? And so, there'll be some elements of things that I believe in, but it's more of like, tell me who we have on our football team and the guys and what they can do well, and we're gonna do that.
Everything we do, we're trying to win.
We live in the deep water. We live in the deep water where it's uncomfortable, where it hurts a little bit. Look where we live.
I'll see you later. I'm going home.
And I'm not talking about playing hard. Everybody talks about playing hard. I'm talking about playing it your gut. I'm talking about from the bottom of your feet. I'm talking about seeing sparks in your eyes. And it hurts. I'm talking about straining for that logo on the side of your helmet and not the name on your back. Because we know what it represents.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Go Bills!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Coast to Coast podcast, as presented by Do Champions. Give our friends at Do Champions a follow. I am your co-host, Beyond716, along with Whittle2K. And Whittle, all I could say is that intro, if that does not get the juices going, if there's a Bills fan out there that watched that and doesn't say, even on June 12th, 2024, isn't ready for September 8th against Arizona, I don't know what to tell you because I am absolutely ready now. Whittle, how are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, that was the purpose. First and foremost, shout out to Locks Guy. You can follow him on Twitter at, I'm going to give you the exact at. I don't want to shortchange the man at all. Yeah, so let me read it off with the correct spelling and everything. There he is. All right. It is at LOXGOD 17, all caps. Locks God 17 at Locks God 17. He put that video together. Number one, he did an excellent job. Like we know that he did an excellent job with that. But more importantly, I think he captured the essence of what the Buffalo Bills are right now. The Buffalo Bills are a underrated, overlooked, taken for granted, really, really good team. And not just because we have Josh Allen, but because we have a ton of talent everywhere on this roster. You can look at this roster from top to bottom, and every position group has talent there. We just got to be honest. Every position group has talent. And to sit here and act as if, that's not the case or that's not what's going on, I mean, it's just completely false. You're living in a la-la land if you think the Bills don't have the talent to compete. If you don't think that Sean McDermott and Bobby Babbitt are going to put together a defensive scheme that utilizes the talent that we have all over the defensive side of the football, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you'll just find out the hard way, like pretty much everybody else will. And on the offensive side of the ball, like you saw what this offense was capable of without speed and without size. They added that this offseason. So, good luck, guys. Everybody thinks the Bills are an easy win or they're just going to walk through this team. This team has fallen off. Josh Allen's not going to be able to compete at the level that he competed at before. Good luck. And if you're on our schedule, you'll see firsthand. You'll see firsthand what it is. But with that being said, man, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. And more importantly, Keon Coleman. He signed his rookie deal. That's a life-changing experience for that young man and his family.
Mm-hmm.
I wish him the best. I hope he is as good as we believe he can be. He's a great personality. He's the body type of a receiver who we normally don't go after. So having him on the roster is a deal. It's a big deal, and it shows how we want to move going into the future. So hats off to him.
I couldn't
mandatory
agree more.
minis.
I mean, yep.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Real quick, real quick, just wanted to back up on what you said. Every rookie is now signed from the 2024 class, and I think that's great. I mean, it really shows that, to me, there's a strong commitment by the players to get in here, get in OTAs and get ready for the season. There's going to be no lingering drama in that sense. So it's more critical than ever this year, I think, for this version of the Bills to have that all set as we go into this season.
Yeah, exactly. One of the first things, I'm glad you brought this up, but one of the first things that stands out about minicamp is no drama. There was absolutely no drama. We had a couple guys that weren't here for family reasons, and those were excused absences. They were real excused absences, not the stuff that's happening elsewhere in the league. Those are actual real reasons to not be there. And this is the first year, I think, that we've been able to operate without the drama surrounding the wide receiver, quarterback relationship, etc. I'm just really happy about that.
No, absolutely. It's funny you mentioned that. I guess it's not like a team from our Garden State that seems to be having a little bit of a whirlwind going on about OTAs. We're seeing some continuity from the team in the Empire State, so we love to see it, Whittle. You mentioned about Josh Allen and the work he's putting in. I took away from some of his comments in OTA. He's still talking about after OTAs are done, how they're going to get together more before they start camp. So, those questions that we had about Josh putting in the work that is going to be necessary for this young group, I think some of those questions are being answered by Josh. I mean, how much, he didn't go into detail like, okay, I'm going for 3 weeks to do this or what have you. But I thought it was a breath of fresh air to hear that from Josh. And he dropped those little comments in his presser the other day. So I thought that was a good sign for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I do like so minicamp. Some of the things that stand out to me for minicamp. Obviously, no drama. That's number one. But we're starting to see guys who really put their foot forward in the right, put their best foot forward in their position groups. Aside from Matt Milano being back and just being limited, the rest of the defense, I mean, you see Von Miller looks great. He's practicing without the without the knee brace. He looks fast. He looks bendy. All of those different things that we know Von was before he got hurt. And you're starting to see it, and that's a good thing. AJ Epinesa is right now the penciled in, I guess, is the starter at defensive end. So I just got to give Von a ton of credit right now for staying the course, accepting the criticism that came from the fan base, and he's just stepping up. And not only is he getting himself prepared to contribute this year, he's preparing these young guys as well. A guy like Javon Solomon, obviously he's still going to be working with AJ and Groot, and we got some other guys, Casey Toohill. We brought in Dwayne Smoot. We still got Kingsley Jonathan. So all of these guys are getting opportunities, but the wide receivers, which is the hotbed for every conversation surrounding the Buffalo Bills right now. KJ Hamler with a great day today. KJ Hamler with a huge play, 50-yard touchdown. Where he basically burned Rasul Douglas down the field. He really has that. He has that. He's one of those guys that can separate with speed. So it was good to hear that. It was good to see. It was good to hear about that. I'm struggling here, buddy.
Hang in there, Whittle. Hang in there, Whittle. We'll get you through it. Hey, we're gonna, Jay, we'll get through as much as we can tonight. So we're, we don't want.
Yeah. So, but
absolutely.
Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about, who wasn't at mini camp today. So, switching gears a little bit, Benford wasn't there again for a family issue. Will Clapp wasn't there for a family issue. The center we signed, and then we were missing, like, at some capacity, 4 different linebackers today due to injury. So they went out and they brought in 2 more linebackers. Can't remember those guys' names. I know one of them's last name was Quarterman. He was like a 4th round pick for the Jags. And that's when you see stuff like this, like with what they're doing at the linebacker position, you understand why this team has enjoyed the level of success that it has enjoyed over the last, 7 years. You see it. Last year, people, I mean, you can argue this if you want, but if the Bills do not have all of those injuries at linebacker, I don't see how they don't beat Kansas City, because the game, the tide of the game turned when they started to isolate AJ Klein and really started attacking him down, in coverage, and he just couldn't hold up. So that was what really turned the game, kind of let it get out of hand for us. And I watched the Baltimore Kansas City game today earlier when I was, where I was. And man, like, they got like 5 stops. They got like 5 extra possessions in that game, and they only managed to put up 10 points. I feel like if you give Josh Allen 5 extra possessions, you give this Buffalo Bills offense 5 extra possessions in any game, they're going to win. You cannot give a quarterback like Josh Allen, with the weapons that we currently have on this roster, you cannot give them 5 extra possessions and think you're going to walk away with a W. I just don't see it happening. So there's one thing I love about Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. They really are paying attention, and they're learning from their mistakes. They learned that they didn't have enough depth at linebacker last year, so they said, screw that, we're going to get it this year.
That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what, though, when you said, okay, we have the group already, and it's only June 12th. But again, we're not going to overreact to every little thing, in terms of injuries, because they're not serious at this point.
Right. And we still got enough time for these guys to heal up and and they'll be fine.
Could be, in his development. So obviously it wasn't serious enough to keep him out.
We lost Beyond for a little bit, but we'll get him back. We'll keep it rolling. Couple of things that came out of camp that do worry me a little bit while we wait for Beyond to get back. Not liking how Tyler Bass is missing all of these kicks. He had a bunch of misses today, and he's been inconsistent for the last 2 years. So, okay, wait a minute.
Okay, we're back now. Sorry about that, Whittle. I'm not even sure what happened there. So, one of those days. So,
yeah. No, but I was just saying that Tyler Bass is kind of underperforming. He's been underwhelming in this off season. Well, he's been underwhelming when what's our punter's name? Sam Martin. When Sam Martin's been holding Martin, yeah. When Martin's been holding for him, he's been missing. When the new kid Browning's been holding for him, he's been making it. So it's pretty simple to me. Browning needs to be the guy. We cannot afford. I don't really care about punting. I think we score enough to really, if we don't punt well, okay, that's really only going to hurt us in games against really, really talented teams. So, your Kansas Cities, the San Frans, maybe even the Dolphins, maybe Detroit, the Rams, teams that can really fill it up offensively. And no disrespect if I forgot to mention somebody, maybe even the Colts. I could throw the Colts in there. They fill it up, man. They can fill up the scoreboard. So,
they sure can.
Right. So those are the teams you got to kind of pay attention to. But when it comes to punting, but outside of that, man, I have a feeling that we're going to be looking at kickers in the upcoming 2025 draft. And it's probably about that time we signed him to that extension. He hasn't played well since he got played. Maybe it's just time to move on. That's why you don't pay kickers a second contract.
Yeah, the thing about Tyler Bass, it is a concern. I mean, it is early, but I go in the Wayback Machine to when Scott Norwood missed his kick against the Giants in Super Bowl 25. Super Bowl 26, to put it lightly, Norwood was a disaster. He was not good. He had a really tough year, and you could see it, right? The emotional. Now, listen, missing kick in the Super Bowl obviously is a much bigger deal than missing a kick in a divisional playoff, but you could make an argument that if we make that kick and win in overtime, maybe we go on to win the Super Bowl last year. Again, not saying it was all Tyler Bass's fault, just saying, what did the late Bobby Knight always say? Game's 90% mental, right? And when you think about, especially kicking, especially something like kicking, right, where it's not as physical, and it's something that, what's the leash? How long of a leash do they have on a guy like Tyler Bass? Even, he's been great in the past, but what if we're having an excellent season and he's just missing kick after kick, and we're going to have big games against San Francisco, we're going to have Kansas City, we're going to have Detroit, right? And then you're going to have playoff games. How long do we put up with it if he's really erratic? So I hope Bean and the staff has, so we may see a kicker earlier than that, Whittle. If it continues, but again, I'm rooting for Bass.
Yeah.
I really hope he figures it out. I like the guy. I hated what he went through after last year on social media. I mean, no player should ever go through that ever. I don't, care who you are, but it's something to really, that is probably one of the biggest takeaways this week so far for me. And like you said, in those close games, why have we lost to Kansas City? Mm-hmm. It's the little things. We talk about it over and over again, right? It's not the big things. We're not losing by 30. We're not getting the doors blown off of us. We're not.
Right.
So
Right.
we need these things, these dot I's, cross T's. We need them all set up for the season. And to me, if I'm the Bills, I'd be willing to bet you Brandon Beane is starting to a little bit put that in the back of his mind. I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah. He should.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we can't afford to give up points, man. We need as many points as we can get. Keon made a couple nice plays today. One where he beat Russell Douglas down the field for like a 25-yard gain or something. But then a couple plays later, Russell Douglas jams him up and wins that rep against him. Somebody that's been standing out who I never ever wavered on. It's Shakir. I am so pumped and ready, and I know it doesn't sound like that. I'm under the weather today, folks. But
Little hope you feel better.
Yeah, I'm getting there, bro. I should be 100%. Hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, man. But yeah, I'm pumped, man. Like this, Shakir is gonna take over, man, and just. I'm expecting 5 interceptions from Shakir this year. I think he's going to make Russell Douglas a non-priority re-sign. Not to say that we won't re-sign him. I think we might re-sign. I think we might, keep him around. But you never know. And Shakir is the one that we have on the roster that can take the football away. He's got the athletic profile. He's got the speed. He's got the ball skills. He's got all of that. He's got the man coverage background. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm also looking forward to seeing this guy, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Yeah. He looks noticeably bigger. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
Yes.
But he looks huge. He looks huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why he's doing this. Like he already has one murder under his belt with Mike White. And
Maybe he wants to give more lumber, right?
Listen, man, I feel bad for these other teams that got to see us. If your interior offensive line and your running back do not know how to pick up their blitz assignments, your quarterback's gonna be in trouble. Because we have 2 linebackers that are very, very, very good at blitzing, dodging blocks, and making plays behind the line of scrimmage. So, good luck, guys, man. I mean, he looks like he's moving well. They're taking their time with him. They're bringing him along slowly. But I fully expect him to be ready to go by the time training camp starts. Beyond, can we discuss this video, the intro video, a little bit?
Absolutely, we can.
Okay, so some of you guys may have noticed that the intro video is different today than it has been. The reason behind that is UMG is being. I'm not gonna disparage them. Like they own the rights to the song from the intro, and
sure,
they want their cut, and I get it. Not like there's much to get, but they want something. So I've already written to them and put the request in to see if they will allow us to utilize the song. I have no idea what the turnaround time is for that, but I kind of like this new one. I kind of like this new one a little bit better from the standpoint of I really think I think it speaks to who we are right now.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, some things I want to talk about from that video. There's a part of that video where Emmanuel Acho says, "We don't have enough talent. The Bills don't have enough talent to compete." And I'm trying to. I look at this roster, and I'm trying to figure out where this lack of talent is at, because the quarterback is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So it can't be there. James Cook finished top 5 in yards, rushing yards and yards from scrimmage last year. So it can't be him. Maybe they talking about the wide receivers. Okay, can't be the tight ends. Dawson Knox is Dawson Knox has had multiple years of really, really solid production. He was viewed as a top 10 tight end, just a couple years ago. And Dalton Kincaid is, one of the bright young, pass catchers in the NFL right now. So it can't be there. The offensive line, the offensive line was great last year, so we can't be talking about the old line. The defensive line, I guess they think Von Miller was not good and he hasn't performed since he's been here. But the truth is, in 9.5 games in the 2022 season, Von Miller had 8.5 sacks. So you mean to tell me if he finishes out that year, he doesn't have 12? He doesn't get 3. He doesn't get 4 more sacks over the next 7 or 8 games? Really?
He does. Oh, he does. No question.
Exactly. So, and I get it. The guys on that, they got a big job. They got a bunch of sports to cover and talk about. So I shouldn't expect them to know what they're talking about to the level that somebody who is just focused on the NFL, just focused on one team. And I get it. But be prepared to have those takes brought right back to your face when you're wrong. I don't get that. Like the defensive line at Oliver, 9.5 sacks last year. Rousseau had 8.5 sacks. AJ 6.5. I mean, we got guys. We got guys. They drafted Dwayne Carter. I expect Dwayne Carter to be huge for us this year, coming off the bench. Austin Johnson, backup one tech, so we don't have to roll out with a Tim Settle style player at the one tech, who, let alone forget taking on double teams. The dude was getting single blocked and taken out of plays a lot of times. So, but whatever.
By the way, thank you for that, David, and I appreciate you enjoying the show. Comeback player of the year incoming for Von. We'll see, Whittle. I mean,
I like that, man.
Listen,
Cameron, I like that. I like that a lot. It makes a lot of sense. If Von comes out here and gets 10 or 11 sacks, they're gonna give it to him. They're gonna give him that because of his age, the contract. And if he gets 12, if Von gets double-digit sacks, this team is going to be very, very good. Because if he's at double-digit sacks, I know Rousseau's at double-digit sacks. Oliver's probably a double-digit sack, definitely a double-digit sack. Epenesa's probably a double-digit sacks, and I think Solomon gets some play. I think we get a couple of guys to chip in with 3 or 4 sacks. I think we'll have a really good pass rush. If Von is at that level where he's demanding a double team again. He can't be talking about linebackers. We don't even need to get into that. I mean, Terrell Bernard, 140 something tackles last year, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. Like, come on, bro. He can't be. Matt Milano, All Pro in 2022, was playing at All Pro level before he broke his leg. He didn't have a knee injury. He broke his fibula. So you're wrong about that as well, Acho. He can't be talking about linebackers. And then corners. He can't be talking about corners. Can he? Russell Douglas, according to PFF, is a top 20 corner. Christian Benford is number 8 in their cornerback grades from last year. And Taron Johnson, All Pro last year, second team. I mean, what are we doing? What are you talking about, guy? Maybe he's saying safety.
You know what? I really think a lot of this is just name recognition from the national media. And again, just to compare it, a couple of years ago, when Tyreek Hill was traded from the Chiefs, right? There weren't the takes weren't as fierce as we're seeing now, but there were quite a few people in the national media that were writing off the Chiefs because they just lost Tyreek Hill. But those in the know that know their ball, like let's say you, myself to a point, right? But a lot of the ones on Twitter, the ones that we talked to and others, we knew not to be fooled by that. Because you look at the totality of the situation, right? That's what they're not seeing nationally because they don't take the time to look at us anymore, Whittle. They're saying, "Oh, Stephon Diggs is gone. Oh, Trey White is gone. Oh, all these big names, Jordan Poyer." And listen, these were big players for the Bills, and we're not slandering the impact they had on this roster really from 2017 to in some cases last year. I mean, but most of the players did not perform that well last year that we got rid of. So when they see those names, they just run with it and they say, "Okay, that's it. The Bills are done this year." They don't have the talent because I don't recognize some of these names. Like who's Christian Benford, right? I mean, we know who Christian Benford is. Analytic guys know who Christian Benford is, right? Those that really know football know who Christian Benford is. But Emmanuel Acho, who's looking at it from afar, looking at things quick, says, Christian Benford's not that good. That's not Trey White. That's not the name that I know. So that's what I really see going on here. And I just think this is an opportunity to really come February. I mean, the receipts that you must have, you may need another separate account on Twitter to handle them all, but it could be glorious.
Yeah, man. Speaking of glorious, it's 50-51.
It's funny. I just brought that up, Whittle. I was gonna drop in a little update for you, but I figured you had your eyes on that too. So it pains me, Whittle, as a Knick fan. But hey, listen, your team's been the best all year, so
I'm not
gonna begrudge the Celts.
It could be worse. You could be a Lakers fan. So
yes, that is true. It's 2020. I'm here for it, Whittle. It's 2024, and the Knicks are more stable than Lakers. What a beautiful moment.
The Lakers have no future. It's over for them. They're rebuilding. Yep. They don't want to admit it, but they're definitely rebuilding.
Yep. Yeah, I love it. So, I mean, if Boston wins tonight, I think and you can see already Tatum's having a good game tonight. So as you and I spoke about,
listen, I told people before. I've been saying the same stuff all week about before the series. I said this series is not good for Dallas. They don't match up well. They're too top heavy with scoring. They don't have enough scoring on the wing. They don't have enough scoring. Like, you don't have guys outside of your top two guys that can just consistently go get their own shot if you need them to. And then the 5-out offense just keeps their big men on the perimeter. And if they sink down, that opens up kick-out opportunities for wide-open threes. And as long as Al Horford is going to continue to knock down threes, I mean, that's it. Yeah. So
I think we'll have a coronation for your Celtics next week. We'll do something. But Whittle, there are a couple things just to pivot back to the Bills I wanted to talk to you about real quick in terms of quotes. I watched some of the press conferences, some of the players, and there were some interesting little nuggets thrown in there. I thought Rasul Douglas had one, right? And I was watching, our guy from West Orange, right? Just throw it in there. Rasul Douglas said,
no. Rasul is from East Orange.
East Orange. I'm sorry. Whittle, I've been out of California. Yeah, I've been out of Jersey 17 years, man. You got to correct me.
You don't want to get that confused.
No, you don't.
It's a whole different population between East Orange and West Orange.
I understand. It's similar in the Brunswicks down by me, man. East Brunswick, New Brunswick, North Brunswick, they're all a little bit different.
Right.
So
I
understand completely. I'm born in New Brunswick, so shout out to New Brunswick. So anyway,
shout out to Exit 9, man. Shout out to Exit 9 on the
Exit 9. That's my exit, Whittle. You better believe it, man. You know it. Route 18, man. Hell on earth in rush hour from New Brunswick to East Brunswick. So, but anyway, but Rasul Douglas said, we still got Rap. And then he goes, I don't know is Micah gone or are we still sure? It's up in the air. So he even said it's up in the air. So I thought that was a little bit of an interesting little nugget from Rasul. We don't know, but it's just interesting that it's there.
They know.
Yeah, you think so? All right.
Yeah.
Am I being too optimistic here, trying to get Micah?
Come on, listen. I think Cam Lewis ends up flipping back to corner because Cam plays outside corner as well, and there's no way Cam Lewis can be any worse than Dane Jackson. And absolutely no way. Dane Jackson had me looking for Levi Wallace last year. You understand how bad that is? The last time Levi Wallace played corner for the Buffalo Bills, he gave up a touchdown for Tyreek Hill from a 7-yard drag that turned into a 60-yard scamper where he beat Poyer to the sideline. Poyer was on the opposite hash. Come on.
Yep.
I was looking for Levi Wallace, so he can't be worse than Dane Jackson. Cam will play, Cam will slide in some corner reps. He'll slide in to some safety reps. And I think you'll get Hamlet. You'll have Hamlet. You'll have Bishop. You'll have Rapp. You'll have Mike Edwards. And I think they bring Micah in like right before training camp.
Yep.
And Micah closes out and if not, then I don't want to take this take away from who said it, but I think it was Sherm. I think Sherm said it in the space. He was like, yeah, Micah will be back in week 10. He ain't gonna sit there and watch this team, especially if the team is good and headed to the playoffs, playing well, still got the title aspirations. Got a new water bottle, folks. Bro, This thing is amazing. First, I'm going on a tangent real quick. This thing is amazing. Like, I put ice and water in this thing a day ago, and it's still cold.
What is that?
Still
what brand
cold.
is that? What we're
no
giving a
idea
shout
what
out?
brand
Oh,
it is.
is it one of those Yetis or like?
I'm not giving
I know it's
nobody a shout out.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
giving
Let's not
nobody
do
a
that. Unless
shout
they're
out
paying
without
us.
a
Right?
check.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, what am I
If we
talking
ain't getting
about?
a check, they ain't getting a shout out. But
Yeah.
listen, that water bottle is clutch, man. Clutch. But anyway, yeah, I there's no way, man. And I think Micah Hyde being on this team at practice, talking to these guys, coaching these guys, telling these guys where they need to be, I think it's perfect. Then when you get in high pressure situations where you need it bad, you can take a player who doesn't have the type of awareness like Taylor Rapp. You can take him off the field, and you can put in a guy like Micah Hyde with Mike Edwards, and you're good. Like you're not worried about getting beat over the top. You're not worried about somebody missing their assignment and giving up a huge play. I cannot wait for Micah Hyde to get back here. Because when he does, I'm going to buy his jersey. I'm going to buy 23. Micah Hyde.
That's what I like to hear.
But yeah, man.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I mean, I kind of agree with you the more I think about it, but I just thought it was interesting. I did watch a little Connor McGovern. He did talk a lot about how he was working extensively with Mitch on a lot of the calls last year. So at least from that point of view, he seems to be a little bit ready. But he said, of course, until you're in the situation, you don't know how it's really going to be. Now he's the guy, but at least I feel like behind the scenes, there was a lot of preparation for that. So feel a little bit more at ease about that. But again, we just have to see how it works. And of course, Josh. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that to add on to your point. I mean, obviously, I've never played in the NFL, but I was in the military, and they always preach this: train as you fight, train as you fight. So, I took training seriously, especially when I knew we were deploying or getting ready to do like a graded exercise or whatever. I took those training sessions serious. So, you know what? When you get I can speak from experience of being overseas and things happening and just not even thinking about what I need to do because I've trained so much that it's just second nature now. So as long as the training is where it's supposed, as long as you're putting in the effort of consistently training and practicing what you need to do. And I had a coach, Coach Prangy, who said, practice doesn't make perfect. He said, perfect practice makes perfect. So as long as you are striving to be perfect when you practice, limit your mistakes. And when you make mistakes, isolate those mistakes, correct them, and continue to move on. if that is the essence of the motivation behind Connor McGovern, I think we're going to be fine at center.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So,
that's excellent, Whittle. And the one last thing I took was our guy Josh Allen speaking about changing his mechanics, maybe shortening his throw a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't go into more detail, and also his glowing endorsements about Chase Claypool, about how he's got the right mindset and he's very easy to throw the ball to. In terms, he said, of course, he doesn't make the decisions around here, but I guess if I'm Chase Claypool and I watch it, I'm like, that's great. I mean, I got Josh Allen giving me those kind of words. That's got to be a ringing endorsement in my ears. So it does sound like Claypool's job on the 53 is to lose. I mean, how much impact he has, you and I spoke about it. We don't know, but I just thought those two takeaways, especially about Josh's mechanics, will be interesting to see how it looks once we get to the preseason. If he plays in the preseason, that is. But
right,
yeah.
So my thing with Chase Claypool, the talent was never a question. He was always talented.
Mm-hmm.
And he played very well for the Steelers in his first season, and the second season was fine as well. If he can get back to that type of production and bring that effort to Buffalo, I think he's a no-brainer, man. It's a no-brainer fit. Again, like you said, it's his job to lose. I think it's between him, MVS, and KJ Hamler for those last two spots. Because let's be honest, Keon's a lock, Shakir's a lock, Samuel's a lock, and Mac Hollins are locks. We got two more spots after that. And right now it's like MVS, Claypool, Hamler, and a distant fourth is Shorter. And even Isabella's making plays, man. I'm not hearing anything but negativity related to what Shorter's doing in OTA. So he continues to drop passes. Speaking of drop passes, like James Cook is continuing to drop passes in practice. That is not good. It was an issue last year, and it's something that that's like the reason they drafted him, because he was such a good receiver back in college. They brought him in to catch the football, and the reason you're here, you're not taking advantage of it. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Ray Davis was out today, as well as Todd Johnson. So we'll see how they bring those two guys into the game, and what type of formations and packages they use them in. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I am impressed. I am happy that the offense bounced back after having a rough day. The first day of mandatory minicamp, the defense pretty much owned them in the first day, and then here today, you hear about all these great plays. Josh Allen's throwing the football all over the field. At one point, I think he was 6 of 6 or 7 of 7 or something like that. And then Keon Coleman's running around. Kyer Elam steps in and intercepts it. That was Josh's first incompletion of the day. And even after practice, there was videos of Josh working with some of the receivers. So they're bought in. They're definitely bought in. You can see it. Josh is bought in. The rest of the receivers, the rest of the team. I mean, these guys are ready. And one thing about the Bills, I think we play our best when we're doubted. I think we play our best when we're the underdog. So that's the role we fall into this year. I think we're going to be fine.
Absolutely. So let's just hope. Again, it's good to hear little things. It's just like a little football tease this time of year. See the team come together, but now we just hope these guys rest up a little bit, start preparing off the field, and be ready for the season. And we need good health, Whittle. That's the biggest thing. But like you've said a lot, and you said earlier in the show about how Bean has really seemed to prepare for these possibilities. I mean, we are a lot deeper now than we were even we talk about the 21 team maybe being the best team, right, since this era started, right? But that team was nowhere near as deep as this one. So we may have had some higher end talent in some positions and maybe some players playing at a higher level, but that doesn't mean the team was deeper. So we had an excellent run of health in 20 and 21 that we have not enjoyed in 22 and 23. So let's hope in 24 that we could definitely turn that around going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are winding down, but before we do,
I do have one thing as well, but go ahead. I want you to go first. So,
let's talk about mandatory minicamp. The first word in that is mandatory, meaning you need to be there.
Yep.
I remember in the offseason of 2021 going into the 2022 season, Stephon Diggs missed voluntary OTAs, and there was a big deal. It was a big deal. He wants out of there. He's not bought in. There's trouble in paradise, yada, yada, yada. 2022, the offseason, before the 2023 season, Diggs is not at the first day of mandatories. After he was sent home, he was allowed to leave by the head coach. And no problem. It's well, actually, no, I'm sorry, not no problem. Oh my God, the Bills are falling apart. Diggs wants out of there. He's gone. He's not going to play for you guys. That's it. You guys are going to get rid of him. Yada, yada, yada. The offseason of between the 2023 and 2024 season, everybody who's supposed to be at mandatory minicamp for the Buffalo Bills is there. However, the star quarterback for what's up, T? How you doing?
T? Thanks for coming on by.
Appreciate you. The star quarterback, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, decided to not go to mandatory minicamp. And according to the Jet fans, it's no big deal. Nothing to see here, guys. Who cares as long as he's there week one? But it's not just him. It's also their prized edge rusher that they went out and got in Hassan Reddick. He's not there. But no big deal, right? As long as those guys are there for week one, you guys are hypocrites.
Will, there's something you and I could agree on about the New York market. For those in Buffalo that don't understand it, the Daily News and the New York Times, they come up with some great back pages, right? Have you seen some of them today about call him Aaron Dodgers? I mean, amazing, right? And they have Aaron Rodgers' face completely whited out, like he's just completely gone, or full of hot AAR. I mean, it's just great. Like already, you could already see the circus in New York is already starting. So while it's
and that's the team that's supposed to dethrone us.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on, bro.
It's okay.
Now.
We've earned our ability to be confident. We've won this division 4 straight years. Name me the amount of teams that won their division 4 years in a row in the last 25 years. Maybe 3
Kansas
franchises.
City, New England, and Buffalo.
End of list.
End of list.
So that's, we've earned that right. So, I mean, could things happen? Sure. But to come in with such confidence and such like absolution is the part that gets me that going the most, right? That's really what it is for me. So, hey, listen, it's like you said, all the talk about culture and the foundation that Buffalo has laid down really since Bean and McDermott walked in the door. I mean, this is where it pays off, right? These are the things generally we don't have to worry about, right?
Right.
And even if you talk about Diggs, right? Like how much of that stuff did we really see public? Not much. If there was, we don't even know. We really don't even know exactly why he left. We still don't know.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, that's private for Stephon and private for the Bills. I mean, it's fine, but we don't know, and that speaks to that wouldn't happen with the Jets right now. Not a chance.
Bro, it would be so
Not a
awesome.
chance.
It would be so awesome if we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it sure would.
The year after Diggs left, man, that would have to hurt, man. That would have to hurt.
Oh yeah. Oh, even if we just make it at the minimum, but if we win it, oh yeah. I mean, it would be. Yeah, there've been situations like that. I mean, not guys that left, but we've seen great players over the years in other sports where they're in a place for a long time and then they go and then all of a sudden that team starts winning. So,
yeah.
I mean, but
somebody said it. Somebody said it best, man. They said it's addition by subtraction.
Yep. And again, it's something where I take both sides on it. Stephon Diggs was an amazing football player for us for 4 years, right? He gave us a lot of great memories on the field. And even off, I mean, I thought he was an interesting guy. I mean, he brought a lot of flair. He brought, he brought a lot of passion to the game, and I loved a lot of things he did. I mean, I'm not gonna smear his entire career based on a few things. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. So, but I'm definitely not gonna say the sky is falling just because Diggs left the building. So, we're definitely not gonna do that. Oh, there it is. The Whittle is coming in for the winning the bet. All right, Whittle, listen. As we get close to the NBA next year, we'll see how my Knicks stack up. But we'll look at that in the offseason. Or how
I'm telling you, man, this 5-out offense. This 5-out offense is really difficult to deal with. So
absolutely. But we are almost at the hour, so we're gonna end a little bit early tonight. Is that what?
Yeah, we're gonna shut it down. Yeah, we appreciate you guys for coming through.
I do have one thing. I got one thing left. Yep.
And okay. All right.
It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. So don't forget, everyone. Sunday is Father's Day, and I want to wish an advance happy Father's Day to our favorite father here, Whittle 2K, ladies and gentlemen. So wanted to send that your way beforehand, and don't forget those father figures out there.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So anybody out there, so don't forget. I almost forget. So so anyway. So shout out to the OG Bills fan, my dad as well. If you're listening,
my dad called me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pops called me today to make sure I was okay.
Good.
He's a Jet fan, so I contemplated not picking the phone up, but I picked it up anyway. So.
You gotta do that, Whittle. Yeah, and look.
Yeah,
Speaking of family, it's family time. Got to make sure Whittle's up is 100%, right? We're not putting you on the injured list or anything, but you got to take a little bit of a rest, and we'll have you at 100%. Good as new sooner or later. So.
Yeah, I'm on the short-term pup right now, man. I'll be good to go in a couple of days. I apologize. I know the energy is not where it usually is. But trust me, people, I had a very, very rough night and rough day. But hey, we here. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that, even if I'm not feeling my best, man, if I can do it, I'm gonna. If I can get up and get in front of this camera for you guys, then I'm going to. I know for me personally, I don't watch national sports coverage. I really don't. Like the talk shows and the so-called experts and all of that. I don't watch those guys because I get better information from the fans that I talk to on Twitter or from doing, or from looking into this stuff myself. Like I got the NFL Plus premium package. I can watch all the games. I can look up the stats. I can do all of that other stuff. And we're about to have access to a huge database in a short time. I can't wait. We're gonna really get into the X's and O's when we get that. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
But we're not gonna get too far ahead of ourselves. We're also working on some very, very, very special guests. Hopefully we're able to get it done over these next 2 weeks after these mandatory minis. I'm gonna be checking to see if Dion is coming back to Jersey. If he is, if he does come back to Jersey, he usually has like a like some sort of charitable stuff that he does out in Rahway. So if there's anything like that going on, I'm gonna try to get out there and be a part of it, bring you guys some footage, and hopefully, hopefully I get a couple minutes with him. If he don't want to do it, I'm gonna tell his mother, and she'll get him from me.
That's right.
We'll be fine.
Mom's always come through in those senses. So, yeah.
Yes. Let me tell y'all a story about my mother. One time I got in trouble in high school, right?
Oh,
and the authorities were involved, right?
Oh no.
So, yeah. So I get home, and my mother, sweet as apple pie, man. I'm telling you, like she will give you the last dollar in her pocket, the shirt off her back if she can. But that day, I don't know. She went back to the young girl that grew up on the rough streets of South Ward, straight Seymour Ave on me. I walked in the house, and she hit me with the fastest 2-piece I've ever seen in my life. I mean, pop, pop, pop. Whoa. I couldn't believe it, but it was love. It was always done out of love. So I know you're in here, and I know Mother's Day is past and Father's Day is coming up, but I wouldn't be the father that I am if I didn't have a mother like you to raise me the way that you did. So I appreciate everything you've done for me. I appreciate. I'm listening for what you didn't tell me. Listen, you're not getting any information out of me. That's what's in the past is going to stay there. But yeah, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. You've been there. You've been in my corner. Even when I wasn't right, and you've been there for me in multiple ways, and I appreciate it. My moral compass is built around the lessons you taught me. So anyway, let's get back to the football. But this is what the Bills are about, right? Mafia means family. So we are a family-oriented show. We are a family-oriented fan base. We're a family-oriented franchise and team. And we are a family-oriented company around Duke Champions. So definitely, continue to, I appreciate the support that we get. Thank you guys for supporting us up until this point. Please, we can't push this program without you guys. So you guys and girls out there. So if you can push it to people that are Bills fans that like Buffalo Bills, or if they don't like the Bills, they hate the Bills, then they want to just argue with Bills fans all day. Send them the program as well. They can come in here and they can get packed right up, just like we do on X. Yep. There's no problem. So but we want to continue to grow this platform, and along with it, we want to continue to grow the Duke Champions Company. When the website comes up, there are going to be some articles out. We're definitely going to contribute to that section as well. So if you're tired of hearing my voice, you can just read my words. I'm going to write some articles for the group as well. So
absolutely,
shout out to them. Shout out to you, always Beyond. Couldn't do this without you, man. And shout out to the listeners, man. Shout out to the supporters. Beyond, you want to close this out?
Yep. Just we put up our handles on YouTube and Twitter, if you can follow, and us at Coast to Coast on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I believe, are we Coast to Coast NJ, Whittle?
Yep.
Coast to Coast NJ, if you want to give us a follow there as well. And again, next week we'll be back 9 to 10ish Eastern time. We'll be back and better than ever. Give Whittle at 100%. And Whittle did great tonight. He gave us 110% tonight, so we appreciate it. And we will be back next week, and we'll go more into detail. Thank you so much to Whittle's mom for rolling in, as always. See that, Whittle? Isn't that awesome? That's the best way to end the show right there, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
thank you,
say
Mom.
good night. Thank you, Whittle's mom. Appreciate you. And we look forward to next week. And have a great week, and go Bills.
Go Bills.